Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something really fun to check out today. I know you guys love unboxing videos, and I have a brand new box of dinosaurs here that I just actually ordered from Dejankins.com. It's a website that you don't hear about nearly as much as you should because they are an awesome retailer of incredibly cool dinosaur figures. But what's neat about them is they don't just have newer figures, which they do get newer figures. They get new figures all the time. All the newest releases from like CollectA, Safari Ltd, stuff like that, they usually always get that stuff. But they also have a lot of older figures, and I recently had gone on there and ordered a bunch of older figures that were just missing from my collection, some stuff that I really wanted to get my hands on, a lot of CollectA stuff. So I thought it would be fun to bring the box in, open it up with you guys. I've had it actually sitting here for a few days, and the anticipation has been killing me when it comes to opening it, but I didn't want to do it until I had a chance to do it with you guys. So let's pop the box open and start bringing figures in. So Dean is absolutely awesome when it comes to packing his figures. Dean is the one that runs Dejankins, and he's wrapped them all up here for me. He knows when it comes to being a collector, you want your stuff to arrive in great shape, so he does a good job of wrapping the figures up. And this time, we've straight away got a very cool CollectA figure, and I've actually never seen this one until I had just seen it on his website the other day. I do recall seeing a Spinosaurus like this, an old school Spino from CollectA at some point. I definitely had never seen this color scheme before, and I don't know if it's something that he's just recently added on there, which is, again, something that's awesome about Dean, is he'll find older stuff and then add it on. It's not like when the older figures sell out, they're just gone forever. Every time he gets something new with like older figures, he usually lists them on there for sale. So you can sometimes get some really cool, really rare stuff on there for a great price, pretty much at retail or sometimes cheaper. And that's exactly the case with this Spinosaurus, because this is definitely no longer in production from CollectA, but it is a really cool looking interpretation of that sort of older Spinosaurus. Again, there was a time where we kind of saw Spinosaurus looking similar to this, so it's neat to have this figure again, especially being one that I've never seen before, which at this point I assumed I had seen everything from CollectA at one point in time or another, but I've never seen this one until I saw it on his website, and I just knew I had to have it. And then the next one, again, is wrapped in paper here, and it is, oh, there we go, it's the Therizinosaurus. I've really wanted to see this one for a long time as well. I have the larger Therizinosaurus from CollectA. Oh, I pulled it out the wrong way. But I don't believe I have this one. No, I definitely don't. Now actually seeing it here in person, I definitely do not have this figure. And it is a really neat looking Therizinosaurus. Definitely a very cool looking figure. And again, if there are any figures that you see in this unboxing that you would like to see reviewed on my channel, definitely let me know in the comments section, because I would love to get some reviews up of the stuff that you see in this video. But that is a really neat looking Therizinosaurus as well. I've always wanted to see this smaller one, because sometimes you'll see the promotional images, especially of CollectA stuff, like older stuff, and it looks okay. It's like, it's obviously outdated. It doesn't look that great until you see it in hand. And then it's like, wow, that's actually way nicer than I thought it was going to be. It's happened to me tons of times. Definitely happening again with that Therizinosaurus. And then the next one that we have in here is the Megalosaurus, I believe this one is. Yes, absolutely. This is, again, a really old figure from CollectA. Figure out if there's an opening or if I have to rip this one. Looks like I'm just ripping it so it can escape its plastic prison. But this is like kind of an old school vintage looking version of a Megalosaurus, I felt like. So I really wanted to get my hands on this one for a while, even though, again, you're not going to find the best figures in the world when it comes to older CollectA. And it's crazy to go back and look at how lackluster a lot of their older figures were compared to what you get now from CollectA. It's insane to see how much they've improved. But even the older figures, again, even though they're not near as great as what you see now from CollectA, they still hold a special place in my heart, and they hold a special place in the history of dinosaur toy collecting. So I like to get my hands on all of them if I can. And that Megalosaurus, again, sporting that kind of vintage, old school Megalosaurus look, was one that I've wanted for a while. And there are a few in here that aren't actually wrapped that I've wanted for a very long time. And you can see straight away what this one is if you happen to be familiar with the figure. Also, you can see that we have the name of the company down here. It's from Favorite Collection. And This is a super cool looking Brachiosaurus figure. I do have a few of these older favorite figures, but I definitely did not have this Brachiosaurus, and I've wanted it for a very long time. So I'm very excited to actually have this one now in my collection. One that I actually want to open up. I don't normally open this stuff up, but I do kind of want to open this one up to get a better look at it, because the glare is kind of eliminating the details for me. I would really like to see how much nicer it looks out of the packaging as I smack the light on the way out. And then the next figure that we have in here is, of course, going to be from CollectA, and this is the Beckel Spinax. I believe this is one that I definitely wanted for a while as well, and unfortunately, it is also, well, I lost the little plastic stand, and unfortunately this is one that is also retired, and at this point it's getting really hard to find. I actually was scouring eBay trying to locate one once I realized that it was discontinued, just because there are so few figures out there of this species, and I felt like the figure from CollectA actually looked pretty cool, so it was one that I was looking for a little while, and I find them on eBay, but they're not really all that cheap usually, and you can still, I think, at times find them for around $12 or so, but I felt like it was definitely a great decision to order it from Dean at Dejankins, because you're going to get a really beautiful version of the figure, not one that's all beat up like you might get from eBay. And then the next one here is another awesome CollectA figure, and I think that's what the majority of what I ordered was all CollectA, because I love CollectA, and there were a whole bunch of figures, older ones, that mostly retired stuff that I really wanted to get my hands on that I hadn't already acquired. But this is the Eustreptospondylus from CollectA, and it's another dinosaur that we really do not have very many figures of, so it was another one that I really did want to get my hands on, and it definitely has a bit of an old school look to it, I will say that for sure, but it's actually pretty cool looking, honestly. It's definitely another nice looking figure. Again, like I said, nowhere near as nice as what you see currently from CollectA, but it's also still pretty fun. And then the next one in my massive order of dinosaurs is, I believe this is the Tarbosaurus, another one that I did not have, and another one that I've always wanted to get my hands on. If I can pull that out of the packaging there. So there we go. Very cool looking Tarbosaurus again from CollectA. One that honestly I feel like is a little underrated. It's obviously not your best, most up-to-date version of a Tarbosaurus, but here in hand it's definitely a pretty cool looking figure. And a fairly fun looking paint scheme they've given it as well. One that I'm really psyched to have also. And then next on our CollectA adventure here, we've got ourselves, let's open it up before we go ahead and explain which one we've got here. Get the plastic out of here. But we've got ourselves the Nothronychus, and this is another figure that I've really wanted, and actually it's way nicer here in hand than I thought it was. That's absolutely a beautiful looking figure, but it's a species of dinosaur, yet again, one that CollectA makes, but we just don't have very many of, so as per usual, CollectA, just having such incredibly cool species, pulls me into buying another of their older figures. And then we've got another of these absolutely awesome favorite figures. This time we've got the Apatosaurus, and what's neat about this one is if you happen to have visited the Dinosaurius website at some point, the Apatosaurus that you see here is also sold in a resin form on there. It looks pretty much the same as this one, and I have that one, so I was actually quite excited to see this, kind of like a PVC version, for sale on there, one that I really wanted to grab for a long time, so very happy to have that one finally. And then the next one here that's wrapped up is now laying down here on its face. Let's pop this one out. I'm pretty sure I can already see which one we are looking at here. It is the Rugops, and this is another figure that we really don't have, well, another species that we really don't have very many figures of, and yet another one that I was pretty psyched to see that was released a long time ago by CollectA. It's also another figure, again, that is retired. There's a lot of retired CollectA figures out there, and if you want to get a hold of those retired figures, I really recommend grabbing them from Dean at Dejankins, because they are just becoming more and more scarce. They're becoming more harder to find as time goes on, and something if you want to grab them, I don't recommend waiting on, because if you look at the older Paraceratherium from CollectA, like, they just become very expensive as time goes on, and you don't want to miss out on them, so grabbing them from Dejankins is your best choice. And then the second to last in my gathering of figures here, oh, look at this one. I've really wanted to see this one for a very long time as well. So let's pop this out. Pull this one out of the package. We've got ourselves the CollectA Utah Ceratops, and this is another one of those figures. It's shockingly one of the very few Ceratopsians from CollectA I don't have, but it definitely looks neat. Obviously not your best Utah Ceratops out there, but it's by no means a terrible looking one. Still a very cool looking figure. And the final one that I have here is also a favorite co-figure, as we've got ourselves the Stegosaurus as well when it comes to these older kind of PVC figures that are also retired. So very cool looking figure, one that I'm very happy to have. I've wanted this one as well for a while. The last time around when I had ordered a bunch of stuff from Dejankins, I got a few of these figures then, but it was like the T-Rex, the Allosaurus, the Spinosaurus and stuff. So this time I went with some herbivores, and there are even more yet on there that I want to grab at some point in the near future, but still a very cool looking figure. So tons of stuff here, again, entering my collection from Dejankins.com. So I want to give a huge shout out to Dean at Dejankins for hooking me up and sending my order over so quickly, as well as packaging everything so beautifully. Definitely a great website, again, one that's severely overlooked and severely underrated. So I will include a link in the description to Dejankins.com where you can head on over there, check them out, grab yourself some awesome dinosaurs today. So make sure you do that. Also, let me know in the comment section, again, if there's anything you want to see reviewed here, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.